I know I've already talked about this mode once, but I absolutely love it and I want to talk about it some more.
Shoot him, Kevin.
Hello everybody, I'm Roadblock. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video, and I am so very excited to talk more about the Grim Forest. I really am. You can see I've only done a little bit of it today, but I love this game mode. It is so much fun. It's so enjoyable. I feel like they've designed it very, very well. So I just wanted to kind of dive into it and talk about a lot. First, let's kind of talk about the energy system. I do like it. I originally said like, hey, I'm not really a fan of this, but we're going to have enough energy. I mean, we're only a few days into this being out, and already you can see how much I've explored. I'm basically going to all the boundaries, right? So I do like that system. I do wish there was another way. Here's my one problem that I have is that I just want to play it. I just want to dive in and play this game mode to my heart's content, and I'm forced to wait, which is kind of frustrating, right? But that's the way that it's designed, right? I mean, they don't want this to be beat in a day, and I promise you, if I had unlimited resources in here, I would beat this as soon as freaking possible. I just love it so much. So the energy system, it's fine. I will say, if there's one thing I wish they did, and this is, I think for a mode like this, they should have perhaps a catch-up mechanic. If you consider that we have the holidays coming up, right? Listen up, I just got a new promo link that you can use to follow along with me on my latest free-to-play adventure and get a free Elenaril, as well as 3 more powerful epics as you level up. Here's how to do it. Log out of Plarium and Play and uninstall. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champ. Don't miss out on your chance to get Elenaril right after signing up, as well as Fayne, Uugo, and Tagoar as you progress through Raid. Click on my link right now and let's crush this together. I understand there's a gap built into it. If you play Doom Tower, if you play Cintranos, you'll know that you'll beat those usually before the rotation happens, right? I can usually beat, if I do Doom Tower every single day, I can beat hard and normal with like a week to spare or more. I don't know the exact numbers because I never do it every day. I'm very like wishy-washy on it, but even if I miss a couple days in there, I'm able to still complete Doom Tower. What I would say is, for this mode, let's say, well, I mean, I'm sure I could do the math and I don't want to do it, but I feel like you should be able to catch up, meaning like, okay, so day 1 is 30 energy, right? So everybody has 30 energy on day 1. Day 2, if you didn't play day 1, you would have 60 energy. And the people that played day 1 would have 30. So that you could do the day 1 energy's worth. You could do day 1 and day 2 and so on and so forth, so that if you weren't able to log on for a couple of days, you can catch up to where everyone is at. You don't really need, I mean, ultimately there's room to miss a couple of days, so I don't think it's like necessary, right? It's just a thought I had. I don't know how you guys feel about it. Let me know in the comments. But really loving it, loving the system. So let's kind of talk about some of the other things. And I learned a lot today, and I want to give a shout out to the Knights of Teleria podcast. I watched them today. I don't get to watch them live very often anymore. I also don't get to appear on the podcast anymore. Not their fault. It's my fault. I'm spending a lot of time with my family on the weekends usually, so I don't want to commit. I just don't always have the time. But today, because we had a really rough day Saturday, I had time today to myself, and I watched the podcast, and they talked a lot about Grim Forest, and I learned a lot. So I want to share a little bit of what I learned as well, and this is part of my appreciation for it. So first, we'll go to the vendor. Now, I have not fact-checked this, but it's my understanding that these resources will go away after reset. So you do want to use your points to get the chests for the gear. You also want to make sure that you're using the coins to grab these other resources to better build your curios, right? Make sure that you're leveling up your curios using this, etc., etc. And the other thing too is the squad reshuffle, right? And I'm afraid to click it because I don't want to waste 500 of the points. But this will allow you to repick some of the, you know what? I'll go ahead and do it. because I learned this today. So if you go to purchase one, you can repick some of your champions. You'll notice most of my champions are available, but a lot of them are grayed out. The ones that are grayed out are currently being used in a battle, meaning that I rolled the deck. See, I didn't draw champions for this battle, right? What battle did I draw champions for? Is it... I think... No, because I beat it. It shouldn't be there. Didn't draw champions there. There's got to be one somewhere that I drew champions for and then decided, no, I'm not going to do it. It might just be Figris, but where are the other, I feel like the other Figrises would then be holding me up. So there's got to be one that I clicked, you know, and populated the battle and then decided, no, I don't want to do that, and moved on. So either way, that's my understanding, is that if they're currently in a battle, that is why you won't be able to swap them out if they're currently being used. Oh, because I didn't do this one. That's why. So I ran my team. You can see behind me, I ran my team, but I didn't actually do it. I didn't complete it. So you'll see I haven't gotten the rewards for it. And so the ones that I did get the rewards for, they're not taken up. So we can take a look at this, and you can see, like, okay, we have Admiral, Nishak, Marius, Kage. So then if we go back in here, we can say, I know he was in there. Yep, Marius, Mikage, Admiral, right? Yeah, so they are all unavailable for me to replace. But I do love this feature. I didn't even know it was a thing until I watched that podcast today. And I love this feature because it allows me, on my free-to-play mainly, to say, oh, I didn't bring a heal reduction. Let me bring that. Oh, I didn't bring a block buffs. Let me bring that, right? I brought most of that on this account because it's just, I have a lot of good champions that bring those features. But if there is a situation where I fail to bring something, I can bring it now. So I appreciate that. I think that's really good that they had that in there. I didn't know they had that in there. Another thing I wanted to point out is there's this button over here. You click on this button, it does change the perspective in which you view for picking the teams. And this allows the filter, it allows the sort feature, which is just behind my chair. So there are some different options when it comes to, and that's just under the team deck screen. So instead of going this sideways route, which can require lots and lots of scrolling to get to the champions you want to use, potentially you can do it in a larger grid form. So just something to consider. But yeah, like I said, things that I learned today. I talked about this before. I do think the strategy of kind of having your supports on one side and damage on the other is really good. Another suggestion I've heard, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but if you have a pair like Siphi Rhodos, naturally they're already going to be split, but to make sure that you are splitting them up, so for the turtles for example, you might want to have 2 turtles over here and 2 turtles over there. I'm not using the turtles. I haven't built or leveled any of my turtles yet, but just some things there for you guys to consider. Back a little bit to the fun that I'm having. I have really enjoyed exploring the map. I've enjoyed the fights and the battles. I will say that my free-to-play is sorely unprepared for this. I do not have enough support champions, good ones anyways, to really help carry my team through a lot of the damage that gets dealt. So that's been frustrating on my free-to-play, but on my main account, I'm finding a lot of success. So I've killed this roaming boss, and this roaming boss just a few minutes before recording. And I'm still just exploring. I'm just looking. My strategy right now is to just get levels and curios to try and make myself even stronger, to make other fights easier is kind of my strategy. And just optimizing for speed has been my main focus. Whatever card is presented to me that gives me speed, I will click that immediately. I do still feel like I would like to see a little bit more like fun things, but that can come. And with the way that we're doing this, it definitely feels fine. Like those stat boosts, you notice them, you can feel them, they're impactful. So yeah, overall, I'm enjoying that. A lot of like the mini boss fights and stuff have been enjoyable as well. Just making sure that I kind of find a way to power through and battle. It's just been really, really enjoyable. And now I really want to talk rewards. The rewards in here have been amazing. So So far, this is what I've accumulated for relic crafting. We've got 1 legendary, 1 epic, and 72 of the rare. 21 of the mythical. I like that a lot, right? Because this right now, outside of Faction Wars, which I don't know about you guys, but for me, Faction Wars is not a good source of relic materials because I forget to do it or I refuse to do it. So this is a fun and exciting way to get those resources to be able to get some better relic, which I really like. So I'm enjoying that aspect of it as well. The rewards have been really, really good overall, and I really wanted to shout them out because it's really easy to look at this and say, meh, you know, is it worth it? I mean, a lot of people that have Amius already out of Curse City kind of say, all right, is it really, you know, necessarily worth it? Maybe it is to do Amius, but, you know, after that, yes, the gear is in here, but, you know, for some people that have time limits, this might be an area of the game that they might avoid or dodge, or if they have roster limits. Like, look at this. I'd love to be able to do this fight, but I don't even have I have 160 that falls under this rotation here, right? And we talked about that in the previous video, where I absolutely love the way they have gone about both limiting my roster, but allowing me to maintain my strengths of my account rather than having to match the strengths of everyone's account. So what I mean by that, and I've explained this in the last video, the fact that I get to pick my best champions, my geared champions, the ones I like to use, the ones I know how to use, instead of being forced to level some epic or even a rare just to complete some objective and then never use them again, or only put gear on them for this one day that I do this one room in this one spot. This right here is a great way to balance bloat in Raid Shadow Legends, meaning that, you know, or even power creep, because I have to really, really look at my roster and pick very specific champions that can do specific things. And I really do enjoy that because it's my roster. It's not like, you know, well, you have to use this champion. Well, I don't have that champion, so I can't do it. And I know I talked about that in the other video, but it's worth mentioning. It's just, I really want to sing Plarium's praises in this video because they deserve to get some recognition for this. They really, really do, right? If you look at a lot of the things they've done in the past, they have dropped the ball on a lot of things. If we look at Siege, a lot of people don't like Siege. I love it, but it's not for everybody. And I've said this before on video, it's more fun if you're a clan leader than if you're not, because you get to kind of decide how teams get placed and you get to strategize, where as just a member, you're either just following orders or you're just picking random places to put your stuff. So it can be less fun. Cursed City, I do not at all like the way that they limited your roster, requiring very specific niche champions that to be used. I already hovered over this, but you know, that's annoying. I don't want to build Ruark, right? I don't want to build Razin or Jeroboam. Right? I don't want to put resources into these guys. I don't care if there's champion training going on. I don't want to do it. So that's annoying. Let me use who I have, right? Grim Forest allows me to do that. For Doom Tower, everybody loves Doom Tower, right? It's been a big source of improvement and gains, but there are some time issues. Don't get me, we're not going to go deep in time issues because that is a big problem right now in the game. But Doom Tower at this point in the game's existence can be kind of solved. If you look at my free-to-play has collected everything, my main account has collected everything, so really isn't that much new stuff coming from Doom Tower. It's just a little old at this point and could be considered easy compared to something like Cursed City. The new clan bosses have had their problems. Obviously, there's been a lot of drama since the changes in Hydra have occurred. Chimera has its pros and cons. A lot of people, me particularly, do not like that the best way to get the mythical relics is by completing. I just want to run the same team over and over and collect my rewards. I don't want to have to change up my team or change up my strategy, and I don't want to have to dedicate a 40-minute manual fight anymore. I used to love doing it. I did it in Hydra all the time. I'm not there anymore, right? I think there's too much going on in the game, other things that I want to pursue and enjoy. So dedicating that isn't a thing. So there are people do have their issues with Chimera, and I get that. Then we have other things where people feel like they dropped the ball. A good example, people hate the fact that you also use energy in Iron Twins. That's a big frustration for a lot of people when it came out. They've managed to avoid that. The dungeon, the event dungeon, I couldn't remember what it was called. The event dungeon has had some frustrations for people because of difficulty or because of like different ways that they run things. It can be frustrating for a lot of players, which I get. So they've made mistakes is the point that I'm trying to make, and I'm probably being too long-winded about it, and I apologize. But Plarium has dropped the ball on a lot of events and things in this game. They did not drop the ball on the Grim Forest. I think they hit it out of the park. I love it. It's so much fun. I get excited to play it. If anything, it has kind of caused me to play Raid a little less because it's all I want to do. So when I'm done Grim Forest, and I know that Blazin said this too in the podcast, but when I'm done Grim Forest, I kind of just don't want to play anymore. so it's so much fun that I just want it to be tomorrow already so I can play some more. Is kind of how I feel. And yeah, I can't say enough fun things about this game mode. Will it get stale over time? Well, I think the fact that the map, I think, is going to change will keep it a little bit more fresh. I do think that random events and things like ambushes and all that stuff are going to keep it fun and interesting. So we don't, I mean, I don't really know, I will say that much, what the future holds for the game mode. But like I said, I'm enjoying it right now. I think it's quite a bit of fun. I am very excited to continue to explore and discover and build my power. So yeah, I really wanted to shout Plarium out and say, hey, you guys did good. By the way, I do want to point out one last thing about this game mode. There's really not a lot to monetize here. This is just a pure game mode that says, here you go, enjoy. If you think about it, I can't buy energy, I can't buy curios, I can't buy power in this mode, where I suppose you couldn't necessarily do that in Cursed City either, and you certainly can't do that in Doom Tower, but I do wonder if the way that Cursed City is designed, if you're a tryhard, that might force you to buy some books and buy some energy and buy some resources to level up these very specific champions in this very specific mode. That's not the case for the Grim Forest. I don't need specific champions. I mean, there are some, but there are epics of those champions, like the one epic that I'm running, which is Venomage. So yeah, if you need a very specific niche champion, you're not gonna necessarily have to spend money. You can just put a one of in your deck and then jump in and have some fun. So, all right, I feel like I've talked enough about it, and especially since this is across 2 videos, guys, but we have to show some love, right? We have to celebrate something good because we are very critical. We are very hard on Plarium with the way that they have kind of screwed things up. And I don't know if you guys did a recent survey. I recently got a survey where it was like, do you trust the brand Raid Shadow Legends? And it's like, I would have said no. This is getting a little bit more of my faith back, right? Turtles started it, and now here we are with the Grim Forest, and it's awesome. And I'm loving it. Are there little tiny things, nitpicky things that I think they could improve or change and make it just a little bit better? Yes, probably. But at the end of the day, it's so much fun, so enjoyable, and not like annoying and frustrating, and like it didn't piss me off like a lot, like, oh, don't get me started on hard faction wars again. So yeah, I love it. Great job, Plarium. And I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. Thank you for watching. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing. It is the best way to support my channel. And I look forward to seeing all of you in the next video. Take care.